Okay, so now we're gonna go on to the fishtail. So the fishtail is a 2-strand braid. So I'm just gonna secure again in a low ponytail, so not base braid again. The ponytail itself doesn't have to be spectacular. Okay. So her hair is a little damp already, which should be okay. I'm just going to give it one little light mist again. So again, with the spraying, it's personal preference if you want it to be a little damp. Sometimes I find it has better control. So again, just like the rope braid, I'm going to kind of talk through it, but talk through it quick as I go. So 2 equal partings is what your hair is going to be split into. And then what you're doing is you're taking tiny little subsections from each side and you're crossing over. So it's literally across to the right, across to the left.
Always rather than
Yes. Try and keep your little subsection that you're grabbing equal, so meaning they're the same on either side. You'll notice the difference if you do it and you don't have the same partings. It's probably going to be the most prominent thing that you're going to see. And then your tension too. So I want you to hold about medium tension. You don't have to hold anything super, super tight, but don't hold it really loose either. So just try and keep that tension even. So I'm going to do my 2 sections. I'm going to grab a tiny section from the right, and I'm going to cross it over to the inside of the left section. And then I always use my thumb to pinch. Small section from the outer left, crossing over to the inside right. Pinch. Small section outer right, crossing inside left. Pinch. And again, and you just keep working with your tiny sections, crossing from the outside of the strand of your main 2 to the inside of the opposite strand. So you're always going to end up with just 2 sections, left and right, but you're taking the tiny little subsections. So once you get about 5 or so crossovers, you're going to notice that pattern. You guys see the pattern there? If you pinch it really, really tight, pull this tighter, your tension, you're not going to see it as much. And if you go really loose, you'll see it a lot. But that's where you're more likely to have hair fall out. So if I go again, so 2 main subsections, you have your right and your left side. Then you're going to take small subsections from the outside of the strand to the inside of the opposite one. So outside right crosses over to the inside of the left. Pinch. Outside left crosses over to the inside of the right. Pinch. And then you just keep going. Sometimes the biggest thing you might have a little difficulty with is grabbing those little sections. But like I said, you'll end up seeing if your sections aren't even right away. One thing I want you to make sure that you're not grabbing from underneath of that outside. You want to make sure you're grabbing right from the outside, or else you'll start to see a weird twist. And it might happen on a couple of them, but then it'll go away once you realize that you're doing it. So the nice thing about a fishtail is you don't really have to worry about too much, like, okay, where am I grabbing? Which is the inside? Which is the outside? Where's the 3rd or 5th strand, right? You're only working with 2 sections of hair. So if I keep going, a lot of people can whip through this braid pretty quick. Keep going. When you do this too, like the first time we tried it, I want you to try and take smaller sections, but don't take really teeny sections, or else it's going to take you forever. And then when you do it the second time, it's always good to change it up and look at the different style. So if I go here, I've got pretty even sections all the way down. Now, obviously I've grabbed more and less from the one side because I'm starting to get a little bit of a drag happening. But if I were to take a really big section, and so you just start crossing over big sections now, what's going to happen is it almost starts to look like a regular 3-strand braid in the bottom. So you know if you're taking too big of sections, you're not going to get that really nice look of the fishtail. And the best part about a fishtail is when you've done the whole thing, you kind of flip it around, you can pull it out a little bit, and that's where you get those really cool little designs where people will flip it under and you create that little fishtail look, or you can twist it around. Some people will even do their braids, twist their braids around with the fishtail. Yep.
Do you take line 1, please?
Yep. Okay, so I want you guys to go wet your hair 2 sections and then start going with it. So talk about it out loud. Say outside right to inside left, outside left over to inside right.